Hey friends, so is buying organic produce really necessary? I am here to tell you it absolutely is. And eating organic isn't as expensive as people think it is, and there are definitely ways you can work around it if you are on a tight budget. So in this video, I'm going to explain why you need to buy organic and go into the clean 15 and the dirty dozen. So first, why are pesticides and herbicides so bad? So let's start with glyphosate. So glyphosate is the main ingredient in Roundup, and glyphosate is a water-soluble toxin, and 2.6 billion kilos has been dumped on the earth, and it's going to double in 6 years. That is unbelievable. So earth is just getting bombarded with this water-soluble toxin, and it's affecting us more than people realize. And studies are finally showing this and proving this, what has been said all along. So glyphosate, before it was a pesticide, it was used as a chelating agent to strip metal in pipes. So it can also do that to our body, and it can even cause mineral deficiency, especially in selenium. And glyphosate also acts as an antibiotic, and it will wipe out all of our good bacteria in our gut microbiome, and we don't want that. We want to protect our gut microbiome as best as we can. And when you consume glyphosate, it's destroying your gut lining, which can lead to leaky gut and inflammation. And that can interfere with your serotonin production, because your gut produces a major percentage of your serotonin. So that can lead to depression, and it can also slow down the gut, because the gut needs serotonin as a chemical to have proper bowel movements in a timely manner. So it can cause constipation and just slow your motility down. And glyphosate and other pesticides, just all of it is highly inflammatory to your gut, and we want to protect our gut. And glyphosate will also cause neurological disorders, as it kills brain cells. And glyphosate will also bind to heavy metals like aluminum and also fluoride. And because it's such a small water-soluble small molecule, it can pass through our blood-brain barrier, and it will deposit harmful toxins that it binds to, like aluminum and fluoride, and just deposit right into the brain. So definitely not good, guys. Glyphosate is a huge contributor also to low sperm count, so definitely not good if you're trying to conceive. So I just wanted to show you some things here. Let's see if I can share my screen, but before I get into my screen, we just really want to focus on detox, guys, and keeping our toxicity bucket low, because once that bucket gets filled up to the rim and starts overflowing, that's the beginning of disease. So we want to keep those toxins in our bucket as low as we possibly can, and that's avoiding all of the toxins, but this is including glyphosate and all of these pesticides and herbicides, and along with all the other things, and I'll get into that in other videos. But let me share my screen here. Let's see if I can do this. I just wanted to show you guys some articles and then go over okay. So here first we have prenatal exposure, and it's talking about heavy metals and pesticides, and it's showing, you guys can go in and read this study if you want, but it shows that mothers that had a heavy exposure to these heavy metals and pesticides, the babies had lower IQ than those that didn't have that much exposure. So it is amazing. It's so sad, so awful. Let's see if I can move this here. This other study here is showing the link to pesticides and leukemia and lymphoma and all those blood cancers. This study is just showing, I can read a little bit on here on pesticides. So there's growing evidence about the influence of chemical exposures on specific molecular systems and mechanisms involved in cognitive and mental function. So evidence is also emerging about the negative impact of these chemical exposures on mental health, including depression, suicide, and other risks. So again, this is leading to gut inflammation and gut disruption because our gut-brain connection and mental disorders strongly correlated there. So all disease begins in the gut, guys. So lots of stuff, lots of studies on this. Here's another one on pesticides and human reproduction, just showing all the negative effects on that. And like I mentioned, it has an effect on lower sperm count. And this study shows clear evidence that glyphosate causes cancer, causes tumors, and a whole bunch of other ailments. There's lots of studies. So this is why I encourage you guys to stay away from conventional produce as much as possible, because they're just so heavily sprayed with these pesticides and herbicides that are toxic to our health. And we need to keep our toxicity bucket as low as we can, and this is a great way to start. So good news is, those on a tight budget, there's something called the Dirty Dozen. So the EWG just came out with the 2020 Dirty Dozen list, because it varies, guys. It changes yearly. So this just came out a week or two ago. So these are going to be the ones that you should never, ever buy conventional. You want to buy these ones organic. Why? Because these are the top dirty dozen produce that have found more than one pesticide that's just completely saturated in it, just very toxic. So if you buy strawberries, you definitely want to get them organic, always. That goes for all of these. So strawberries, spinach, kale, nectarines, apples, grapes, peaches, cherries, pears, tomatoes, celery, and potatoes. And the bonus one here is hot peppers too. So again, these ones you absolutely need to buy organic. It's just, you're better off not buying these if you're not buying them organic. So here's that list. It's pretty helpful. And then what's nice is that there is a clean 15. So these ones you can buy conventional. You can get away without buying these ones organic, because these have the least amount of pesticide exposure. So avocados, of course, sweet corn. I don't recommend corn anyways. Most of it's GMO. And then it's a grain, and that's a whole other video that I need to do on grains, but I just don't recommend corn. But if you do corn, you want to have it organic, of course. So avocado, sweet corn, pineapple, onions are totally fine to get conventional. Papaya, sweet peas, but that's saying frozen sweet peas, eggplant, asparagus, cauliflower, cantaloupe, broccoli, mushrooms, cabbage, honeydew, and kiwi. So these ones are totally fine to buy conventional, and there's even a bigger list on the dirty ones and a bigger list on the clean ones. So if you guys want to come back on your own, you can get the full list here, and it's just showing you all the complete list of all the dirty ones and all the clean ones. So I hope this was helpful, guys. There's always ways, let's see if I can get back on here. There's always ways around it, and it's possible to limit your exposure and to buy organic when you can, at least stick to the clean 15, dirty dozen rule, and that is a great start. Love you guys.